So guess what? Guess who announced that he's running for president?
Oh, boy.
It's Uncle Sniff Your Hair, everybody. Touchy-feely Joey Creepy is running for president. And, the good thing is that he's not taking any corporate money, he says. No corporate PAC money and everything. And but then I see this, I go, oh, look at this. Joe Biden holding kickoff fundraiser at Comcast executive's office. Isn't that something? But he says he won't take any money from federal lobbyists. So here's the invitation. Biden for president. Please join Rhonda and David L. Cohen. And then all these other jagoffs. I like this guy, Honorable Michael Nutter. That's a great name. That guy's a fucking nutter, eh? He's honorable.
That's his porn name, though.
That sounds like his porn name. His brother's in porn, Dick Nutter. Come on. And then along with all these other jagoffs, right? You got Senator Bob Casey and Matt, all the jagoffs. As vice president at the home of David L. Cohen. That's a big house. Mm-hmm. You could fit all these asswipes in one house. That's a big house.
I actually think their official name is the Jagoff Slate. I'm pretty sure.
I think it is the Jagoff.
Yeah, they're just the Jagoff Slate.
And so down at the bottom, it says at the fine print at the bottom of the invite indicates the campaign won't take direct donations from lobbyists, corporate PACs, or unions. But Biden's day one fundraiser highlights how corporations can still find ways to influence politicians, even with those safeguards in place. Really? Isn't that something? Joe Biden he's such a straight arrow. He found a way to take corporate money, even though he's not taking corporate money. Isn't that something? That is really something. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say. When I was in high school, I had this teacher who there was this week during the semester where you could give him booze and you would get extra credit.
Shut up.
And basically, he just left his trunk open, so he didn't solicit it. It was just like, yeah, if something's in his trunk, what's he gonna do about it? This is like the corporate version of that. Like, yeah, we're not taking any, but my trunk's open. If something winds up in there, like some dollar bills, what am I gonna do? Guess it's just there. Better I have it than someone else, huh? Vote for me.
Here's
wow.
Here's Joe Biden talking about taking corporate money. Ready?
Senator, I'm sure that you would agree that your service in the Senate up to this point has not reflected any particular concern for the larger contributors.
Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't have many larger contributors, and the only reason... See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son. And so I had to go out.
Guess who's over 40? Joe Biden. Guess who's hanging out with one of the heads of Comcast? Joe Biden. So there he is when he's young. This is young Joe Biden. This is 29-year-old Joe Biden. This is the Pete Buttigieg version of Joe Biden. And he's there being glib because he tried to prostitute himself, just like he said, hey, I don't have any integrity. I wanted to get in politics at a young age because I'm a friggin' prostitute. I'm using his words. And the big guys with the money at the corporation says, no, you're too young. Come back when you're 40. So he had to go out and raise money, but he doesn't have to do that anymore because he's over 40. So everybody laughed back then.
So I had to go to a number of small contributors.
Well, I think we're all grateful, Senator. You didn't take no for an answer.
So there you go. That's Joe Biden. That's who Joe Biden. Let me play. I'll play. So the guy asked him. I'll play it real cool without stopping, and so you can get it all in one. The guy asked him about the power of contributors, donors, the donor class. So Joe Biden went and offered himself up to the donor class. The donor class said, "No thanks."
Senator, I'm sure that you would agree that your service in the Senate up to this point has not reflected any particular concern for the larger contributors.
Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't have many larger contributors, and the only reason... See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son. And so I had to go out. So I had to go to a number of small contributors.
Well, I think we're all grateful.
So there was that was Joe Biden upset that I had to get fucking funding from the people. I had to go out and get small. That's who Joe Biden is. Just in case you weren't sure. So let's go back to the story.
We get some of the finest Democratic quotes here. Like, I'm a moderate Republican, Barack Obama. I'm ready to prostitute myself, Joe Biden. Single payer will never come to pass.
We should do a show about that.
Right? We gotta collect them all.
So Biden is set to attend a fundraiser Thursday night at the Philadelphia home of Comcast executive David Cohen, according to an invite first published by Politico. Cohen, a former top aide to then Philadelphia Mayor Ed Rendell, is a major political player in Pennsylvania and Washington, and Comcast's lobbying operation is considered among the nation's most powerful. So his first fundraiser is with one of the most powerful lobbying groups in the country. His first fundraiser, Mr. No Corporate Cash. His first fundraiser. Biden's fundraiser is part of a large-scale effort to match the impressive first-day fundraising totals of Bernie Sanders and Beto O'Rourke, who both brought in more than $6 million, mostly from small donations over the internet, but O'Rourke had to fudge his numbers. Mm-hmm. Just so you know, he fudged his numbers. Biden, who lacks a comparable track record of raising money online, is instead counting on donors cutting checks near the federal maximum of $2,800. So here he is. He is instead counting on donors. He is counting on donors to give him the federal maximum. This is the working class candidate. This is your working class candidate. So here's a little video that Huffington Post put it together, and it's kind of interesting. We'll play a little bit of it and talk about it. Here we go.
If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever.
It will be because of people like you. If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, it's going to be because corporatists like you who are offering people the status quo, a return to the status quo. I'm pretty sure that's the definition of a reactionary. You are offering them nothing except a return to the situation that made them so desperate they either didn't vote or voted for Donald Trump. That's what Joe Biden's offering these people.
If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation.
He didn't do that in the first 4 years. I thought that's how we could. Again, it's this. Be afraid. I have nothing to offer you but fear. Be afraid. Remember how we scared you about Donald Trump? It's going to get even worse. I'm telling you, it's worse. Even though we support every horrible thing he's doing in Venezuela, in Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Iran. Even though we support every horrible thing he's doing with Julian Assange. Even though we support his deregulating Wall Street again. Although we support his ramping up of the military budget. Although we... Come on.
We're okay with slashing Social Security and Medicare. We're fine with that.
Yeah. So what is...
And you know, and by the way, if Trump is president for 8 years, that's because the Democrats suck.
That's right. That's right. That's how bad you are. Look at how you have to plead with people because you offer them nothing. You have to, you guys, seriously. I know we suck, but serious. Hey, why not try to get better? Why wouldn't you try to get better? Why wouldn't you try to actually have a platform that appeals to people instead of, you guys, it's so bad. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, have you seen Donald Trump? Have you seen him? This is his fucking strategy.
And if Donald Trump can change the course of history so much.
While
there's a Congress, right? And all the Congress members, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat, continue to vote for his policies. What is the difference if I vote for you, Joe Biden?
So
what are you going to give me? Nothing.
So go ahead.
No, I'm done.
So he's going to fundamentally change the country as you fast track his judges?
Yes.
as you fast track his judges. I remember people telling me you got to vote for Hillary Clinton because Donald Trump will take over the federal bench, the judiciary, and he's going to, and guess who's helping him? Chuck Schumer is fast tracking his judges. Do you remember what the Republicans did to Barack Obama's judges? They obstructed every goddamn one of them. You know what Chuck Schumer, the Democrats, doing? Fast tracking. Couldn't do it without your help, Joe. Donald Trump couldn't do any of this without your help.
Who we are, and I cannot stand by and watch that happen.
No, you're not standing by and watching that happen. You're actively engaged and making that happen. So I'm sorry, I didn't want to run, but I got to stop this Trump guy. This is so much worse than when Barack Obama was president.
I like how he makes it sound like he hasn't just let a bunch of horrible shit happen.
Yes,
Like, he's like,
I know.
I know there was the crimes bill, and I'm down with the drug war and Patriot Act. That was me too. Iraq, and yeah, but the character of this nation is at stake.
We literally have a torture program. We still do. We still have a torture facility. Going on 20 years almost now. What do you mean the character of our bullshit? Fuck you and your character. You're so full of shit. That, you know, doesn't have character? You, Joe Biden. Because if you had character, you'd be out there screaming about this war budget. You'd be screaming about us trying to overthrow another oil-rich country. You'd be screaming about the persecution of a journalist like Julian Assange. And you'd be screaming about the corporate takeover of your own goddamn party. And you'd be screaming about the cheating that you're doing to people who could actually beat Donald Trump. But you're not doing any of that. Joe Biden, another fucking megalomaniac knucklehead. Narcissistic maniac who doesn't give a shit about you. Let me tell you again, doesn't give a shit about you. Joe Biden to the right of Trump voters. This is your savior. Joe Biden's to the right of Trump voters. Trump voters want single-payer health care, free college, and want to end the wars. He doesn't want any of that shit. He's to the right of Trump voters. This is my savior? The guy who's going to save me from Trump is the guy who's to the right of Trump's voters?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Joe Biden's record, the only thing separating him from a Republican is the D next to his name, which stands for duped.
That's right. That's right. And this guy's a prostitute at heart. He bragged about it in public. If he would have got the money, he wouldn't have ever said that. He didn't get the money. But guess what? He gets it now. So I've brought this up a lot. So anyway, anything left to say about this? It's just kind of crazy, right?
Well,
Should we play a little bit more of it?
Yes, I think you should, and I appreciate the soft lens on Joe Biden.
Yeah. I know, right? He's got less wrinkles than
Well,
I
it's
do.
because they want to give him a youthful kind
No
of
kidding.
experience for people, you know?
He doesn't even have this one here.
No.
This line. Everybody has this line. He doesn't even have that line. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine him talking to his interns like, oh, so how did you get that? It is an Instagram filter, Joe. An Instagram.
Joe Biden, he's running. All right, come on. He's running for president, I know. Former vice president.
Oh, give me some hip music.
I know. Okay, hang on. Listen to this bullshit that he
If
says.
he talks about core values,
The core values of this nation.
I'm going to shit myself.
Core values. The core values. Now, again, I don't have a program that's going to help your life. I'm going to talk about our core values as your life gets worse and worse and worse.
Standing in the world, our very democracy. Everything that has made America America is at stake.
What? That was fantastic.
Everything that has made America America. You know, endless wars, torture programs, the world's largest penal colony, incarcerating more black and brown people. What are you talking about?
Americans just need to America and America for America.
It's so Americana.
We need to do more. I need to drink an Americano in America on America Day. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy with an Instagram filter.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Yeah. Okay. Why do they do this?
Progressive record. Anybody running for the United
Oh, listen to this.
You
Remember
know
when he
what?
said this? Remember
Can
when
I
he said
just ask this
Yeah.
really quick? I'm surprised they're not showing a montage of him hugging people.
No kidding. Watch this. Watch what he says
They
here.
had to take those out.
I bet they did. Watch what they say here. Watch what he says here.
I have the most progressive record of anybody running for the United. If anybody who would run.
He has the most progressive record of anybody who would run. Not the people who are actually running, but who would. What are you talking about? So you're crazier than you're to the left of Bernie? That's what you're saying? You're a crazier lefty than Bernie? Really? So then why didn't they have a meeting to stop you in New York City? His public image has been tarnished. You think? Watch how he jokes
And
about
I'll
it.
be much more mindful. That's my responsibility. My responsibility, and I'll meet it.
It's his responsibility to be more mindful, and he'll meet it. And watch how serious he takes this as he's groping another kid. Watch.
I just want you to know I had permission to hug Lonnie. By the way, he gave me permission to touch him.
How weird! You're standing there with your hand on a kid. He gave you permission to touch him.
And in 12 years, when there's no job market for him, I'm going to tell him to shut the hell up and buck up, right? That's what I'm going to do.
It's almost like Joe doesn't understand what the problem with touching is.
It's like he doesn't. Hey, I asked a 12-year-old if I could touch him. He said, "All right, I'm gonna be." I asked him later if I could wet his dick with my lips, and he said, "Okay." That's okay if he said okay, right? No, that's not okay. That's not okay, Joe. Yeah, I got my hands down his pants, but he's totally cool with it. I'm just checking him. I used to play baseball. It's a cup check. I'm doing a cup check on him, and I'm running for president. I'm Joe Biden. The fuck? Isn't that crazy? He's standing there like molesting a kid, it looks like. I mean,
Well, even like his apology, he might as well have just been like, I don't know, in my day, I mean, boys
Yeah.
will be boys. Brr. Like, it was so just nothing.
just nothing. As he's got his hand, I want to play it again. Actually, he's got his hand on the kid, and don't use a fucking kid, by the way, as a prop in your politics. How about that? Don't use it. How about that's the first thing? Don't bring a kid on stage as a prop. He's got some more kids over there. Watch this. There it is. Okay. Only 2 vice presidents have become. Watch this. This is funny.
There's a duo, by the way.
Right? Yep. Richard
That's
Nixon and
quite
George
the-
Bush.
That's quite the group.
Those are the only 2 vice presidents who have become presidents since 1950. Right? But watch what they say at the end. This is kind of interesting. Watch this. And then this is who they show as the progressives' choices: Kamala Harris and Pete
Kamala
Buttigieg. Can you believe that?
I mean, I can, but
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that is going to come back to haunt him. That was not a fine moment for when he. I was alive. I was doing comedy when this was going on. I was a comedian already, and I would go on stage and do jokes about this. Wow. Not only did he not shield her from attacks, I'm pretty sure he attacked her. Now, he's leading in the polls, they say. Look, he's trying to prevent sexual assault on campus. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is the HuffPo. It says, an earlier version of this video incorrectly stated that George Herbert Walker Bush was the only vice president since 1950 to later become president. You guys put together a fucking video and this is the kind of mistakes I'm always worried about making that terrorize me in my sleep. that I made some stupid, obvious mistake like this. Like, this isn't but you're at a Huffington Post. Like, this isn't some guy in his garage putting this together in between running the rest of his life. You guys have a staff. You guys, there's someone getting dental to do this. And you fucking don't know that there were more than one vice president. What the F? How did you miss that? I think they missed Nixon. They didn't know that Nixon was a vice president. That's the one they missed.
He's a tricky dick, that one.
An earlier version incorrectly stated. Yeah, it was. But Richard, see, they missed Richard Tricky Dick.
That's right.
How do you make that mistake? And then you put it up, and then you have to. It's just Anyway, so there it is. There you go. There's Joe Biden. There's his stupid video. And there's him saying a bunch of stupid shit. And there's the Huffington Post getting something wrong very easily not to get wrong.
I was really hoping he was going to stay out of it. I mean, I think deep down we all knew he wasn't. But,
right.
Man, I was hoping he would sit it out.
Next live Jimmy Dore show is June 5th. That's a Wednesday at Hermosa Beach Comedy Club in Hermosa Beach, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. We might be coming to your town. And if you love the show, please become a patron. Please support the show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. And please click that bell and make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are already subscribed, they unsubscribe people every day. Just check. Thanks for your support.